Kid's voice calls out from deep within the shower of light. You will not win, Lynx! She trembles, her eyes flowing with red tears. And then a single voice can be heard. It's a deep, profound voice, the voice of undeniable honesty and truth. Long ago, in a far-off kingdom, lived a girl. Because of her power, the kingdom had come to an end, crumbling under its own weight. Many became engulfed in the temporal vortex that was created, never to be heard from again. But not the girl. She lived on, enduring a much sadder fate. Running from her past and fearing her future, she wanted nothing more than to be swallowed up in the surging waves of the vortex of time. Hating what she'd done, refusing what she'd said or heard, to simply continue living was her curse. But the stone, it had other plans for her. Turning back the hands of her clock, scattering her memories, she was granted another chance. Since the precious stone was in her possession, she carried with her all its will and power. And so, she was born into this era, returning to reality as a mere infant. And with that, the fragments of the shattered chrono trigger fall to the ground softly. The cavern before us slowly starts to come apart, bending inward and outwards like a tear in reality, until we are completely removed from its existence. A single girl's voice resounds in the darkness. Please, this dark energy, make it stop. Losing all sense of reality and presence, I become engulfed in this realm, drifting aimlessly through the ages. The world flows, time dissolves, and people live and die. I can see it all within this mysterious ocean. The origin of time, every one of life's tranquilities is here. I can see myself as a baby crying at my mother's side, where she gives a warm, proud grin. I can see myself as an old man, softly smiling, knowing that death will come soon. Infinite versions of myself extend like ghosts throughout this endless corridor of time. Everywhere I look, I see another life, another era. In this unfolded existence, I see countless lives and countless dreams. Resting in eternity. A kind voice calls out to me. A single song. Can you hear my voice? Kid? Answer me, kid. Please. Who? Who's calling my name? Surge? Where is this? Kid, you're here! that song, that beautiful song. It was Luca's favorite. Kid softly smiles, closing her eyes. I can see she can't help but shed a few tears for this long-lost reminiscence. This song is actually something I composed in my earlier years, back when I was a musician. Kid seems to be very fond of it. You called out to me, Serge. You called my name. Thank you. You won't leave me, will you? I'm here for you, kid. It all makes so much sense now. I know who I am, Serge. I know what I'm here for. Let's go back now, okay? I'm ready. There. Lynx has pinned Kid to the ground. And now you see your death. What do I do? We're gonna square off. No, let's square off with Lynx. Yeah. I run over to Lynx, hoping to catch him off guard and ram him. What do you want, child? With a side blow, he strikes me down to the ground. Kid! I frantically try to make my way over to Kid. Lynx raises his saber overhead, ready to plunge it into us. I wouldn't do that if I was you. Quickly turn my head, I look in the direction of the voice. You? There, under a large hood, stands the old woman from before, so I gave her the completely wrong voice. So, Vera, looks like Porre couldn't keep their hands out of this after all, says Lynx flatly. Good to see you again, Master Lynx. Seems you've seen better days. The old lady, she's from Porre? The frozen flame. We will take oh, this is the old lady, I think. The frozen flame. We will take custody of it now. It seems none of you can decide on who the rightful owner should be. The old lady gives a small signal, and dozens of armed troops rush out from behind her, securing the cavern. I will not forget this, Vera, Lynx shouts, floating up into the air. Brimming with hatred, Lynx's glance turns to us. And you will see death by my hand. Saying this, Lynx vanishes into thin air. The soldiers untie Majel and start heading towards us. The old woman gazes down on us from under her hood. I believe you all ought to come with us. Looking up, I notice the armed soldiers have swarmed around us with their weapons ready. I give. Seeing this, Majel instantly waves his hands in the air, calling out some sort of incantation. Darkness, envelop under my command. Suddenly, all light in the cavern is put out. It's now or never. Quickly, Serge. I grab onto Majel, who's holding Kid. Together, we flee the cavern, vanishing into the darkness. Led by Majel, we make our way out of the mansion. Back in the forest, we see the search party's torches here and there, hunting for us. Their militant barking can be heard as they continue to get closer and closer to us. We stop behind a tree for a moment or two, catching our breath. I look down to Kid, who's taken quite a beating. Are you okay? Yeah, mate. Fine. We're completely surrounded, says Majel. We must be on our way. Looking around, I suddenly see torches all around us, starting to close in. Kid suddenly lifts her head up. Go, Serge, save yourself. The troop is only after Majel and me. If they find you alone, they'll let you go. What are you talking about? I can't leave you now. Not like this. I told you I'll be fine, mate. But... Don't worry, I remember now, Serge, who I used to be, long ago, she says, staring up into the night sky. Seeing the reflection of 100,000 stars in her eyes, I can't help but be taken in by that lonely, one-in-a-million expression of hers. Kid. Don't worry, I'm okay. I'll see you again, she says with a smile. Someday. I know I'll see you again, without a doubt. She softly closes her eyes. Luca's chrono trigger was lost. We couldn't even get our hand on the frozen flame, but it's okay. It's all okay. Because tonight, in my heart, a shiny new treasure was born, Serge. The single most valuable, unstealable treasure in the entire world. Saying this, Kid stares at me. Kid stares firmly at me with those eyes of hers. Those bold, straight, honest eyes. Knowing who I am, it's bigger than all this. Bigger than Lynx, bigger than the frozen flame, and nothing can take that away. Not as long as I'm alive. At this moment, listening to her under the starry night sky, I find myself wanting nothing more than to be here with her right now. Staring into her eyes, I only wish time could stop right at this instant. Goodbye, Serge. Thank you. And with that, Kid turns her back to me and disappears into the darkness. Kid! Don't follow me. Please don't follow me. Unable to control my feelings, I start to rush after her. However, a shadow abruptly blocks my path. It's Majel. He slowly shakes his head, a sorrowful look in his eyes. With that, his shadowy figure draws back, dissolving into the darkness. Majel? Kid? Kid. Kid. And so, the curtain closes on another tale. However, another time, after the spotlight had faded from Kid, Majel, and Riddell. In another place and another time, a similar band of adventurers had come forth, equally unsuspecting of their other selves, and life went on as they strode out into the great unknown. But that's a story for another day. For now, I shall put down my pen. As I softly close my grandfather's diary, I hear my mother's voice call to me from downstairs. Didn't you hear me? Your friend is here. I turn around already knowing who it is. My door opens quite energetically, where I see a strangely nostalgic young girl barge in. Serge, we found some ruins of an old mansion up in northern Kitsune Forest today. Come on, let's go exploring. And that is, well, I don't want to say the game, but it's most of the game. That's Radical Dreamers. That's at least the unstealable jewel, the forbidden treasure. That is Le Trésor Interdit of Radical Dreamers. It's kind of hard how to interpret this game because I naturally want to compare it to what I already know about Chrono Trigger and Chrono Cross, and there's a few differences, to say the least, which is probably one of the reasons that this is really kind of considered non-canon. That's probably the easiest way to put it. There is a way to work around that, of course, with how complicated Chrono Trigger and Chrono Cross can get. Of course, I'm not going to say anything about Chrono Cross, but hey, Chrono Trigger, time travel, that does change things. So that's a good portion of the game, and I do have to say I like it for a visual novel style game. I guess you could say a visual novel style RPG. It's pretty good. I would like it. I would have liked it more if there was more outside of Viper Manor, if it wasn't always just dark constantly, but maybe that's just me. Lots of stuff is familiar for those of you that have not played or seen Chrono Cross. I wouldn't worry too much about spoilers, but there were definitely some similarities between this and Chrono Cross. I can't lie about that, but don't think that just because it happened here, that's what's going to happen in Chrono Cross. There's definitely some key differences that struck me as we were going through it, so I'm sure you will notice them as well. But overall, fun game. I do wish it was kind of exported out of Japan, but it's nice that we are able to see it eventually. Thank you, Demi-Force. Without you, this really would not have been possible for me. But honestly, to charge full price, like a full $60 for this kind of thing, that would have been a bit much. I believe back in the day it was still $60, even on the Super Nintendo for a full game. That probably would have been a bit much, but you know, the way that they did it, I don't know how much it cost, to be honest with you, when you had to download it through the service. And even then, you know, it's hard to say what was the exchange rate back in, you know, the 90s. But yeah, that's Surge on the right, Major on the left, Kid in the middle. Doesn't look like any of them the way that I remember them. But there they are. Finn. Like I said, though, that is the game. We are not done, though. Are you going to let me go forward? Thank you. Do have to hit the button for that. But we are able to go forward and make it to a small, well, kind of level selection screen here. As you can see, we have finished part 1, scenario 1, Le Trésor Interdit, but don't think that the game is 7 times longer than what we have done. The other scenarios are not nearly as long as what we have just done. So we will move forward from here next time. That is going to do it for these parts of Radical Dreamers. Hope you guys have enjoyed these parts. Hope you laughed. Hope you learned. Hope to see you next time. Thanks for watching.